Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, they've been talking about tariffs for decades.
How far does China have to go? How much more repression? How big a trade deficit and loss of jobs for the American worker?
It says to the Chinese that their unfair trade policies have got to end. It says to the Chinese, this is a shot across your bow. Reform, because if you don't, there are going to be dramatic consequences.
Holy shit, Chuck Schumer got a 7 head.
This just
God
shows.
damn.
I was just thinking that.
I'm sorry, that ain't no 4 head.
To be honest with you, this shows
He got a TV screen.
that these people are bought and paid for.
Yeah,
now.
nah, for sure.
Oh,
this
yeah.
is crazy, bro.
Boy, the corruption got to him. They
Yeah.
tried to make a difference.
So y'all know this.
It does show that.
It's just this,
Y'all know this was a problem.
just right in your face.
This is crazy, man.
This happened though. Remember with Obama with the immigration too,
Yes.
and even the
And
little
with
Doge,
Doge.
with Doge.
So a whole bunch of stuff.
I just wonder how much bread they was literally touching for just saying F it, bro. Like
That was
literally
just- We see it.
Millions. We know.
Yeah,
Nancy
she got the
Pelosi
highest-
up a couple hundred M's.
Isn't hers $200
Yes.
million dollars?
She the richest one.
275, isn't it?
Some
Nah,
man.
this is crazy though, for real, guys. For them to come out crying and y'all know what he doing is right and calling him a Nazi for doing what's right. And, come on, man. You
This
can't
is
make this
sad,
crap
bro.
up, man.
How big a trade deficit and loss of jobs for the American worker?
It says to the Chinese that their unfair trade policies have got to end. It says to the Chinese, this is a shot across your bow. Reform, because if you don't, there are going to be dramatic consequences.
How come when
I
these
really don't
Democrat
like these
elites want
people,
tariffs,
bro.
everything's hunky-dory, but when President Trump wants tariffs, all hell breaks loose? Do you see this double standard?
I love this guy. Whoever the hell that is. That's really nice. I appreciate that question. No, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, everybody knew you had to do it, but they never had the guts to do it. It does take guts. It even takes guts for our country to go through it. That's why I say be cool. They were saying about, see, just be cool. It's going to work out. It's going to work out, and it's working out. I can tell you, working out maybe faster than I thought. But I said it's going to take a little conditioning. It's a transition to. It's really, I think it's a transition to greatness. It's going to be greatness. Our country is going to be. There'll be nothing like it. And people investing in our country, they're going to do better than they've ever done before.
Wow.
I told y'all, man, it's gonna work out.
This is a real nigga right here, man. I'm sorry for my language, but that's just simply what it is. He's a real nigga.
He
That's
just
what it
he's
is.
standing on.
Man, he earned
business.
that, man.
But
He
I
earned
would, I
did.
thought the tariffs was going to stay longer than they were supposed to.
Man,
They're
I
still
tell you,
here.
man.
Personally,
They're
you
still
know.
here.
Yeah, only, but they're very
On
low.
China only.
No, it's on all countries. Just
It's on all
10%
countries.
until we
Yeah.
negotiate.
Yeah.
So we got to wait 90 days, and then we're going to see what's going to happen
Yeah,
again.
yeah, because then if some of these countries don't come to an agreement, you getting hit with that original number.
So,
But I bet they're gonna come to an agreement.
Oh, for sure.
They gave him a taste of 1 day.
I saw-
Here's 1 day of it. Okay, I'm putting 90-day pause. Okay, so do y'all want to do that or not?
I saw one
They
country
said
was
they
like,
nah.
we not finna do no tariffs back. We just want to negotiate a deal. I think it was South Korea. They said, nah, no tariffs. We want to
I heard
deal.
the African countries been in the knee, but they got
No,
it.
what
Boy,
I
what
heard,
they gonna do with
They got
they
it.
ain't gonna have a pot to piss in.
I heard that Trump is letting all the coal industries be able to manufacture coal here, and Europe is the ones that's supposed to buy it now.
I saw some countries have been, I mean, not countries, some companies, car companies have been stepping away from electric cars and going back to like combustion engines. I think it was Porsche actually.
They're doing the
it was
the
Porsche.
Scats and the Hellcats still. They redoing that again
Wow.
because they did away with it.
I seen that we only had like 300 coal mines, or it was like 290 or something, and China had like 1,200.
Oh yeah, we closed a lot. A lot of
Yeah.
bad things have happened.
Come on,
Green
Joe Biden.
Deal.
You know, we
Come on,
got it's not even the
Democrats.
Green Deal. It's just like a safety thing. Like when people getting trapped and stuff.
Yeah, coal miners.
Yeah, they closed a bunch.
tough people.
But with environmentalism, a lot of them have closed.
Yeah, we
lots of
need them though.
reasons.
That's a lot of money, so we need to figure out a safety something for it.
Well, especially all the AI, we got to produce a lot of energy. So the coal.
Now we need it.
Cause this is how I know God is real. Cause I was literally about to go to a sleep doctor because I really struggled to sleep.
He was.
And then we actually just happened to,
Ran across beam.
find out about Beam. And so I was okay, I'll try this first. And it has literally solved my problem. Like, I think the biggest keys here are what are the ingredients? We got the melatonin, the magnesium, and the theanine. All of those like combined, because I've heard of all these things separately, but when you combine them all, it's like you get in the bed and you feel like something's weighing you down. Like that's how you don't feel like moving. and then you wake up and
I remember you said that I felt like I sunk in the bed.
Yeah, that's how I felt. Yeah, and it helps me relax my mind before I get to bed. So you can turn on some Cartier Family, lay down, hit the beam, go to sleep. All right, guys. So what you want to do is go to beam.com and put in the discount code Cartier, and that's gonna get you 35% off. That's not no little discount. That is a big discount, y'all. Beam is really blessing. It's a company that has value similar to ours, and they really just want to help. So 35% off with the code Cartier.
You have talked about the midterms a lot and about the fact that Democrats could or maybe should win big if we are where we are then, which is a very big if. Could you see yourself supporting Democrats?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, wow.
One thing about me, which drives me crazy, I vote for Trump. I support him. I was never like some crazy MAGA guy. Like I look at each candidate and I choose who I like. I think the left and a lot of even what they did with, I want to say, hiding Biden's mental state and not having a primary really drove me to the right. So I am not somebody who would just strictly vote based on Republican or Democrat. I vote on the people running, how I think they speak to me, the issues that are important to me. But yes, I will vote how I feel is the best interest of what I believe in.
Hey, you believe in your money.
A few moments later.
Million today.
He just cares about money.
Hey, I feel it though. Shit.
And I bought at the low. I'm getting some stats. I'm stuck. All the left, they're going to run away. They're going to disappear. I got that guy from the West Wing. Let's see. The West Wing guy saw him email me today. That wonderful moron. I'm going to bring this country together. I told you. I said, be patient. All right, this guy. Oh, that guy from the West Wing. Someone's going to crush on me. All these left people, you voted for this. Oh, he's crying. I'm dancing. I said it's a time to buy. I said give him some time. He's not a crazy person.
Hey, nah, for real though. That's how I've been feeling all week.
Man, nah, he was crying.
And I
he
want
went on
to keep
TV
buying.
just crying.
That's all I said. I go, don't pretend the stock market don't matter
money,
because it
bro.
matters. And by the way,
money.
Trump's not a fucking crazy person. He knows it matters. He's negotiating, but he gets
so
it. He can't.
fake.
Like the stock market is tied
what
in
he
with.
said at first wasn't bad,
Nah, bro, he was
when
crying.
he said the
bro.
wasn't bad.
statement,
He was on Twitter crying. I voted for Trump and now I'm losing all this money. Trump won.
Hey, he woke
then he went
up.
on TV. I will vote for a Democrat. I
Well, I
will.
told y'all,
but
but
if they speak to what I believe in,
negotiating.
he wants money. He cares about money.
Hey, I say that
That's
on
all
the
he cares
last
A lot
about.
of people do though.
Okay, sure, but like at least stand on principle. Get on TV and say you will vote for a Democrat because you mad that you lost money. Don't sit here and bullshit and wrap it in bullshit.
But how we know how old that clip was though? What does it say? We don't know if that was.
This is from like a couple days ago.
Oh, you seen it?
It says it.
Where?
He said a few moments later.
Well, I mean, we don't know. Like, this could've been a
Hey,
long
he
time
probably
ago.
lost 20, 30, 40.
Is this the same day? He got the same polo on. Rollback polo.
It might be the same.
Rollback polo.
I don't know. What
Come on
time
now.
is
It looks like the same.
Come on now.
Hey man, that's how that market. Hey, the market here. A lot of people feeling like that. Everybody was crying, and then look at it. 2
And
days
Trump
later,
told y'all
it's back
chill,
up.
bro. Remember, I kept saying I just trust what Trump doing, bro. I know
Trump said bye.
that he's gonna be negotiating.
He said, but
You could have made thousands and thousands of dollars.
Give him some time. He's not a crazy person.
No, actually, no, I've been dancing too though.
And I want to keep buying. That's all I said. I go, don't pretend the stock market don't matter because it matters. And by the way, Trump's not a fucking crazy person. He knows it matters. He's negotiating, but he gets it. He can't, like, the stock market is tied in with Main Street,
funny,
Wall
bro.
Street. Let it eat. Let me eat. And they let me eat. And I'm putting pizza burger.
And we saw the successful negotiating strategy that President Trump implemented a week ago today. It has brought more than 75 countries forward to negotiate. It took great courage for him to stay the course until this moment. And what we have ended up with here, as I told everyone a week ago, they're in this very spot, do not retaliate and you will be rewarded. So every country in the world who wants to come and negotiate, we are willing to hear you. We're going to go down to a 10% baseline tariff for them. and China will be raised to 125 due to their insistence on escalation.
So look, you can't undo the damage. The Trump slump is upon us now. And whatever he will try to do in the future does not undo the damage.
Look, the fact that he's pausing these tariffs says that he didn't really have a plan. It's like a rolling of the dice. Are you serious? A crapshoot. And where's the plan? What is the goal here except to create a lot of chaos, uncertainty, and fear? And that's what's happening.
Do you fear that they re-implement?
I'm going to hold my tongue.
Look, if he really wants to have a plan, but you know what? One uses tariffs in a much more focused way, not the way he's doing it, like, 100 countries, sure, why not? He just wants to extort what he can from countries, from law schools, from universities, from law firms. That's what he does. Extortion.
How concerned are you with this market fluctuation? Are you concerned that there could be members of the White House that are benefiting?
Put him in jail.
Absolutely. I'm writing to the White House to demand who knew in advance that the president was going to once again flip-flop on tariffs.
Yeah.
And are people cashing in?
Are people cashing in?
You cashed in, buddy! Opportunity for people in the White House and the administration to be insider trading, and you can't put it past them for a minute.
Are you aware that the tariffs have been paused?
Hey, bro, this is crazy.
I am, yes.
When were you made aware of that?
Well, I understood the decision was made a few minutes ago.
Sitting here
under discussion.
Sitting here under discussion. So did you know that that this was under discussion, and why did you not include that as part of your opening remarks?
So typically what I don't do is divulge the contents of my discussions with
What are the
President
details of the pause?
Well, my understanding is that because so many countries have decided not to retaliate, we're going to have about 90 days.
No, excuse me? China increased their tariffs on the United States. Trump blinked.
What's the blink, sir?
What do you know about this pause? What are the details of it?
He just told you.
Well, the details, as I understand it, is that China continues to retaliate. Other countries didn't retaliate. The president 2 or 3 days ago said we wanted to negotiate with those countries that asked for meetings. That's what we're doing.
What are the details? How long is the pause? How many days?
90
How many
days.
weeks?
I understand it's 90 days. I haven't spoken to the president since I've been.
So the trade representative hasn't spoken to the president of the United States about a global reordering of trade.
Yes, I have. I've
And
just
yet
been in the hearing with you, sir.
But yet he announced it on a tweet. WTF? Who's in charge?
The President of the United States is in charge.
And what do you know about those details?
He done told you like 3 times.
It looks like your boss just pulled the rug out from under you. Is this market
Why you gotta be so
manipulation?
loud and aggressive?
He didn't answer the question like 3 times.
Why not? If it was a plan, if it was always the plan, how is this not market manipulation?
It's not market manipulation, sir.
Well, then what is it? Because it sure is not a strategy.
They mad they ain't
trying to
know.
reset the global trade system.
They just mad they ain't know, but they probably did. Hey, man, you can't be. Hey, they probably just in here doing politics. They knew. Come on now.
He was
They probably in the office right now.
I get the emails all the time. I literally just got an email about an executive order. You guys knew. I don't understand, man. I mean, actually, some people said it was market manipulation, but then I was like, bro, it was
negotiation. I've been saying it from the beginning, bro. I got that from dang, what's dude's name? Kevin O'Leary. Kevin O'Leary said it's negotiation.
Like
He's
it was
just
crazy.
negotiating.
It was crazy how it did change, though. It was pretty crazy, but that's just how it happened.
Well, in instance, we watched the market just went up 10 or 20% in 20 minutes.
That was crazy. I can
in
see
20
why
minutes, we
someone said
watched the
that.
market go up.
I can see why someone said that.
20%.
But you guys do it all the time. I mean, you guys are literally inside trading, so shut up.
I'm Charles Payne. This is Making Money. Just moments ago, President Trump announced a 90-day pause. And let's get right to it. Joining me now, Trump's top trade advisor, Peter Navarro. Peter, okay, so we've got 90-day pause. We've got the post from Truth Social behind me, essentially isolating China. The tariffs are going to go higher, but you've got a 90-day pause. We just heard from Scott Bessent. 75-plus countries are trying to negotiate. Walk us through how this decision was made.
Charles, this is one of the greatest days in American economic history we have had. I think we're going to call it the art of the reciprocal trade deal. And I'll tell you, all the nervous Nellies on Wall Street who try to undermine us consistently underestimate the power of the president to negotiate. What have we got here? We are at a place now where we have a broad-based 10% global tariff on. Well, we negotiate over the next 90 days with all of these countries who have come to us. And the mission, Charles, in these negotiations is to dramatically reduce our trade deficit, level the playing field, get rid of all the tariff differentials, get rid of all the non-tariff barriers. Dow 50,000, Charles. I've said this before. It's going to hit that. We're going to have a broad-based recovery in the S&P 500.
Peter,
We're going to pass a tax cut
for a second.
and get us.
Let me jump in
no
for a
recession.
second because you talked about the nervous Nellies on Wall Street, and by the way, I'm in that camp as well. I wasn't nervous, but I understand, but you understand how people felt and all the anxiety and all of the negative news stories. But some are saying it's the market, particularly the bond market, that pushed the White House into this move.
Oh no! We had a great bonds market selling today, and everything was fine with that. The yields looked beautifully. We had broad-based participation in that, and it's trust in Trump. I mean, look, this was done in a beautiful negotiation. We put out there a set of reciprocal tariffs that reflect the crushing trade deficits that we have with these countries. Yeah, I said at the beginning, no negotiation.
They said that's bad.
It's not that. It's a national emergency, but we will listen. And what we heard immediately was beautiful. These countries want to come to us, lower not just their tariffs, but their non-tariff barriers. And as Scott Bessent said just a few moments ago, there's other things that are going to be on the table that are going to help us reduce our debt, reduce our deficits, things like LNG plants in Alaska. So we're going to see a wave of investment here. They're going to invest here. We're going to see them lowering their trade barriers. And here's the thing. There's a beautiful analogy President Trump likes to use. It's like each country, it's not going to be like a suit off the rack, right? It's not one size fits all. It's going to be every deal is going to be tailor-made.
Right.
And we got 90 days to do this. I'm telling you, Charles, this is going to be the biggest boom. And let's not forget, this tariff strategy is embedded in this beautiful, huge other sets of strategies. The tax cut, we'll get if the Congress gets that done by August, then this idea that there'll ever be a recession is just silly. I mean, the tax cuts, broadest based, just beautiful tax cuts for the middle class. That alone will help us. And then we've got the oil prices going down. We've got.
Well, there it is right there.
Yeah, if they got no tax on income, bro, that would real life be the greatest thing ever in American history.
That would be pretty great.
The under 150,000?
No, they was talking about just getting rid of them.
What was that again, though, Todd? What was that again?
That's what give out all the loans and stuff, like mortgages and all that. They said when that goes up, that's too high. That's like a bad thing.
So when is that supposed to drop?
I don't know. They said it's supposed to be in the 2.5, 3.3. They said this is gonna cause more think inflation if I'm correct. I don't know if I'm tripping or not. That's why the interest rates are so high.
No, let's say is that the percent yield of interest?
I seen
4.3%.
That's
interest.
What I guess that's what lends out the loan, like the debt to people. So I don't know. I forgot what they kind of said. But
that's Grok.
But they said the higher that gets up, the interest rates and inflation is supposed to get higher. That's the only problem. Supposed to be in the 2 or 3.
Yeah, it's typically under 2 or 3.
All right, it affects interest rates. The 10-year yield, treasury yield serves as a reference point for setting various interest rates, including those for mortgages, car loans, and other consumer loans. When the yield rises, borrowing costs tend to increase and vice versa. It is bond prices, stock market higher yields can pressure stock valuations, especially for gold stocks. The 10-year yield impacts the dollar's value. Higher yields attract foreign investors seeking better returns, strengthening the dollars. Lower yields can weaken weaken the dollar. Economic growth. The yield reflects market expectations about inflation and economic growth. Rising yields may signal optimism about growth or concerns about inflation.
Hold on. So it said the higher the yield, the more the dollar's worth?
Yeah.
So I think that I just read it was better for, it depends on who your position. So it said the higher yield is better for people who are investors because it's making their dollar worth more. But the people who are borrowers, like, trying to, like he was saying,
loans and
people,
shit.
they want that lower.
Yeah, because it says between 2 and 5 is good.
Yeah, because it says the yield affects how much the U.S. government pays to the borrow.
Because China was basically making our dollar worth less.
Well, I don't know if it's direct.
That's what didn't we hear that, Taj?
It might be just because all the other stocks.
They said that China supposed to devalue their dollar, so they're supposed to make it worth less for these tariffs apparently. So.
Yeah, it says changes in the yield influence confidence in spending. Higher yields may discourage borrowing and investment, while lower yields encourage both.
Well, that's it. That's it right there. Then I mean, the dollar must be worth more now because of this.
Technically, yeah. Sure.
Yeah, that's what I was hearing. I heard that the dollar, we got to affect China because they were basically making our dollar worth less by all this trade.
That's crazy, bro.
So, would you want a high yield or a low yield? I don't know.
They want a low.
It says low yield encourages both investment.
Yeah, so you could have
and borrowing.
You could borrow and invest
when it's lower.
You ain't gonna have no high interest rates or nothing, and you could get money at the same time that's gonna be worth some. So I'd say lower is better. That's what they kept arguing today.
I agree. It says the lower the yield, it encourages both investing and borrowing. So
Charles Payne, the whole day he said, "This is a problem, y'all. I know y'all the people that's holding a lot of capital, but this right here is a problem." That's what Charles Payne kept saying.
I mean, if it affects mortgage rates, car loans,
I mean, we might
all
not
type
get
of loans.
Yeah,
that's a problem.
But the rich would want it to be high.
I'm sure they would,
because your capital is more. Though.
Yeah, your capital is worth.
That's
more.
what I was like, I low-key wanted to be high, but
But then the house is gonna be high.
I mean, we don't want interest rates to go higher. High interest rates is bad.
I mean, you pay.
I wonder if it's gonna get lower then, because
we'll see.
It's probably one of the most famous moments where the broader world at large met macro trading, and this was really where you and Druck and Soros basically broke the back of the Bank of England. And it's really an interesting window into assessing all of these things. So can you give us the conditions on the ground at that moment and what new reality you saw for England? And then it would be great from there, we'll contrast and compare it to America today.
Good. So it's a great historical example, and it also kind of brings in 3 dimensions. So I was the analyst, Stan was the portfolio manager, and then in a way, George was the risk manager.
Okay.
So I was running the UK office. I was on the ground in the UK, and I had this light bulb go off, and I thought kind of the fulcrum thought, or like my differentiated view was that the UK had just had a big housing boom. Mm-hmm. And UK mortgages at that time, they didn't have long-term mortgages. They were all floating rate. So if the Bank of England raised rates on a Wednesday, your mortgage went up on a Friday.
Yeah.
The UK had hooked into something called the exchange rate mechanism. They had to balance versus the Deutschmark. They had to stay within a band. I noticed that if they raised rates to try to stay in the band and protect the currency, it would be unsustainable because British homeowners would get bankrupted. Stan's great feat of analysis was figuring out that these bands set up this incredible asymmetric bet because I can push them up against one side of the band, and their mandate is just to push me back to the other side. Right. So we just lose 2.5%. And Stan tells this great story of like telling George Soros, oh, well, here's what I want to do. And he says he told him, and George says, well, how much do you want to do? And he said, probably 100% of the fund. And he said, Soros gave him this really sour look. And he thought that he had said something wrong. He goes, well, why wouldn't you do 3 times that? So anyway, it was
fishy,
we pushed them against the band. The Bank of England, the British government
had to buy this unlimited amount of pounds, and they started raising interest rates. And this was September of 1992, and eventually they just weren't able to sustain the pressure from the high rates, and came out. And then the asymmetric risk reward was we made about 20-something% in a day.
Yeah. Right.
And back to what was really Stan's genius is, I don't know if either of you play backgammon, but in backgammon, there's the move after the move.
Yeah.
And so Stan, we'd made all that money and we were kind of euphoric. He goes, okay, now what? Because there's going to be the trade after the trade. So we made that much in a day, but then it was actually the trade after the trade. And this isn't well publicized. I think we made another 20% during the rest of the year.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
hey, these boys smart, man.
Yeah, he is. He been doing it for a long
Trust
time.
this guy,
Took
man.
a catch on the George Soros
back
at the
in
end. He introduced
1992.
it.
Yeah.
He was talking about him.
That
a lot.
was interesting, man.
That was interesting.
Wow.
He been in the game forever.
Facts. I'm gonna say this dude is a real.
So
real
how much
heavy hitter.
he was flipping before he was like, yeah, I'm finna push my own agenda now.
Obviously, he was pushing his own agenda at this point.
He said, you know what? Let it go.
That's crazy.
He said because of that and then that. So I knew that.
You know what? He said, Democrats, I got an idea for y'all niggas.
Hey, literally, they gotta be how it is, man. They all of them came up too much, bro.
No, they did.
Now Elon discovered something that he said that a lot of people finna be in jail. He said somebody's finna be prosecuted for their Social Security stuff soon. He said somebody, I think, like filed 6 Social Securities that's a politician right now.
That's crazy.
Oh wow.
So
yeah,
that's gonna be interesting.
That's probably why they haven't been able to say anybody
is,
yet.
Wow, man, the
This is
Democrats got
crazy,
exposed
bro.
too much. Hey, that's why they wanted Trump's life, man. That is simple as what it is. Somebody they need to figure out that situation.
Hey.
Social media got deleted. You know, hey, man,
It's crazy,
Nah,
bro.
I
we
really
gotta
feel
get
like
into that.
Yeah, I really feel like I'm living like in like just I don't know, man. It's just crazy. Like this is like a movie.
We in the Matrix for real.
like this is just crazy.
It's
man.
the red pill or the blue pill. We real life in the Matrix, man.
Nah, this is crazy, guys. Let us know what y'all think, though, guys. This is getting crazy.